Hi guys, I just wanted to catch up today to do a quick tutorial on Ethernet cable. This is going to help you if you're struggling getting your broadband from one part of your house to another in a cabling solution. Sometimes the Wi-Fi solution is not always the best because you have dead spots and you have long routes. If you've got a big house, you'll have various bits of the house that will be struggling to get the Wi-Fi. So one of the ways around that is to use an Ethernet cable. I'm going to talk through the different options you've got on that and also how you can make one up yourself. This is a bought Ethernet cable, pre-connected with the ends already on. These ends are called RJ45s. It basically gets your broadband from one area to another via the back of your router. If you look on the back of your router, you'll have some yellow ports, usually 2, 3 or 4. You can use any one of them. It doesn't matter with the Ethernet cable into any of these slots. And that's it plugged in one end, and the other end will go to your device, your telly, your PlayStation, your gaming machine. Gamers should always be hardwired. The Wi-Fi, you'll definitely lose speed, you'll have lag with it as well. So if you're struggling with your gaming connection, you know, for all you gamers out there or parents with your children who are getting frustrated with a connection, first port of call, get it hardwired. LAN cables can work up to 40, 50 meters. You can use the pre-terminated ones. But the only issue with doing that is that you've got the ends. So if you were drilling holes through the wall, you'd have to drill them that big to get them through, which might be unsightly, not a neat job. So one of the other options you can actually make them up yourself. And I've got a couple of examples here of what we can do. So I have 8 wires in there. They're divided into 4 lots of tubes, and each one of them tubes is twisted together. The twists are there to stop interference. What that does is when the twists are in the cable, it shields the cable and stops interference, or what they call crosstalk. So if I just show you what we've got inside and how you terminate one of these. So we'll strip it back. So inside, you've got the 4 pairs. Blue, orange, green and brown, and they're all twisted together like we talked about. That is what shields them from the magnetic field that surrounds them when the data is going through them and interferes with the other. Also inside this cable, you'll notice the drawstring. So when you've stripped off the end, you use the drawstring to cut down. The reason why we don't use it straight as it is because the knife might have scored the insulation around the wires. So we then get the drawstring and we just pull it down, and that cuts the insulation and it guarantees us having nice insulated cable. Okay, so now we've got the 4 pairs stripped back. And we're going to put them in the RJ45s. I'll put the wiring diagram on the screen and I'll put a link to it in the description below. So as we can see there, they've come out the end, so you can check them. So I can see that they're all in the right place, and then we can just pull them back slightly and we can use the terminating tool. And then we get a terminating tool, you know, which you can get online for an RJ45, which goes in the slot. Goes in the slot like that, and you feel it click, and then we squeeze it up, hold, release, and there you go, terminated. It's on there. The end squeezes down on the insulation, so it grips onto the neck of the insulation and holds it in place, and that's one done. And then So that go back in the router, you run your cable out, however you're going to run it. This is black cable, so this is external cable. The reason why it's black is that if you use white outside, the UV rays break it down and it'll become brittle, so we tend to use black outside. But you know, obviously inside you can get the equivalent white, and you can either staple it or cleat it along the skirtings, up around the door frames, through the walls, whichever way you're going to run it as neatly as you can. To the other end, you then terminate the other end exactly the same and get your end on it, get your RJ45 on it and into your bit of kit. One of the other options you've got is to plug it into a Wi-Fi extender. On the bottom of these Wi-Fi extenders, you'll see another Ethernet port. So if, for example, you've got a big house and you're the other end of the house and you're not picking up your existing Wi-Fi signal from your router, then you could pipe the broadband along into the Wi-Fi extender there, which clicks in, and then this would then transmit the signal of your Wi-Fi, which you could pick up in another part of the house. So that's just another option, and maybe that's another video for another day of the options we've got in terms of, you know, getting your Wi-Fi coverage. Hopefully what I've showed you today might be of some use if you're looking to hardwire something and get an Ethernet cable or a LAN cable across. But basically you'll need the cable, you'll need the RJ45s, and you'll need a crimping tool, all readily available. You know, not expensive, any of these. You can probably get a crimping tool for £5 or £6, and you can buy a whole pack of RJ45s for a couple of quid. And the cable, you know, depending on the length of cable, you can go out and buy that, and that's really not expensive either. If you liked the video and you thought it was useful, please give us the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It's very much appreciated.